Hey there everyone showing up to the stream. This is actually a quick mic test. Tell me if it's coming through okay or if it's choppy. If it's choppy, I will give this a big refresher. If it's not, well, just sit tight, get ready for the stream. Sounds good, Whiskey Man. Oh my goodness, what is this? But hey there, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official Rockfish Games stream. I am your host, Eric Schrader, and I'm floating, and there wasn't a transition there. Let's try that again. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There, beautiful, beautiful transition, spotless, fantastic. Oh my goodness. So who am I? I'm the community ambassador for Rockfish Games. I basically do this job to serve you guys. That is literally what I do here in these presentations. It's hanging out with you guys, answering questions, showing you content, new content if I can. Truth be told, we are working on a ton, and we do want to have content to excite beta players. So I'm not going to show you everything. I can't, for two reasons. One, because it's not done, and two, because that would be spoiling. Nobody wants to be spoiled. Nah. Oh. But I still am going to show you a little bit. Just a little. It should be nice. So how is everybody today? How's everybody this week? How are you, huh? I want some, yeah, okay, thank you. Excellent, yes. I asked because I actually had a week of vacation. I told you guys last week, so like my Labor Day all the way up until yesterday, I've been working on my studio space to clean it up, make it like super high quality professional, and I'm about halfway there. So still gonna be working on that a bit further. But it's getting there, folks. I'm excited. You should be excited. I don't know why. Just because be happy that I'm being a normal human being and keeping my space clean, I guess. Whatever, you know. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to dive right into this. I have a similar ship. Actually, it might be the same ship that we had last stream, and I've put all the weaponry on it. So we're gonna dive into the hangar. Let's start right where we left off. We'll go right into the hangar bay, and we are going to look at our weapon options. And from there, you guys can choose which weapons you want me to plug in or which weapons you don't. I know there's a lot of options and there's a lot of chatters. That's great, that's fine, it's fantastic even. And we'll see what we can do. Yes, we do have a similar one. I think we changed the color from last time just because I really like the metallic blue. And it just looks, it's very delightful for me. But this is the one with the cockpit hanging low, so when you look out the cockpit, you can actually see the front of the ship. So yeah, let's look at our inventory. Yeah, we have every single weapon. Last time we had both the homing missile launchers and the rocket launchers. We do have the mine launchers. I adjusted this one to have a blaster scattergun combo. This means that we'll be up in the fray of combat. The scattergun is a close-range weapon. The blaster is a close-range weapon. The blaster focuses on energy damage, whereas the scattergun focuses on kinetic damage. What does that mean? That means that means blaster for shields, scatter for hull. Or armor, rather. Very specifically armor. Either option is great for taking out hull. So, yeah. I think scattergun might be a little bit better on hull overall, just because the damage numbers are combined when you're attacking the hull of a target. Yeah. We have a lot of other weapons, though. We have the thermo gun, which does seem to be a pretty popular weapon. A lot of people have been requesting that. I think we'll probably use that inevitably. We have the coil gun. This is a pretty strong weapon from range. Its accuracy it's a little off, but when you do land the shots, you can tell it's pretty consistent for all types of damages. We have the railgun, which is your obligatory sniper rifle. This thing packs a massive punch when you get it fully charged. Then we also have The pulse laser, this is your pew 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 pew. This is your be all end all magical energy weapon in space, and it's lovely. You can never go wrong with a common pulse laser like this. You have your beam laser, which I would also consider pretty standard in the sci-fi realm, if you will. I mean, it's just your standard locked on beam, never fails unless you do. That's just how, like, seriously, like, you can't miss with the beam laser unless you miss. Then we also have the flak, which is an area of effect weapon. And then we finally have the autocannon, which is a translation of the Gatling gun from EVERSPACE 1 to EVERSPACE 2. So, woo! I do see Thermogun. I see Laserhead saying, I want an energy saw. Whoa, okay. I love the energy. The exclamation point has me excited. That's good. I can't really do a weapon that doesn't exist in the game, but if that's a suggestion, which it sounds like it, you should definitely head over to the Steam forums of EVERSPACE 2. Oh my gosh, what a transition. That segue was brilliant. Because that's where all your suggestions should go. And if it's an assortment of stuff like, yeah, an energy saw or some type of like melee weapon for a ship, that sounds kind of crazy, but also kind of cool. I would like to know more. So please speak at length on those forums, get some other people behind you, bringing that up, and maybe it ends up in the game. Maybe that's what can happen. I don't know. Awesome. Grindel says thermo bad. Oh my gosh. Wow. Grindel. What a savage. Goodness. All right. Hi, Dev. Hi, YouTuber. Can't wait till we can finally buy this game. Yeah, so as just a quick point of reference, we are entering the early access of EVERSPACE 2, where you can purchase into the game should you desire to be a part of development at the end of this year. End of this year. Otherwise, the full game is coming out in 2022, the first quarter of 2022. Some of you might be thinking, wait, I thought you said it was 2021. Yes, timelines change. Things have to get figured out and re-navigated. I can assure you, this little bump has not changed our quality almost whatsoever. In fact, it's improved the quality. There are a couple little things we had to adjust here and there. But don't let that discourage you. In fact, let that encourage you, knowing that we are doing our due diligence to make sure that the product is fully ready for your enjoyment factor at 2022. Excellent. Will the game grow more vertically or horizontally after early access starts? Why not both? We'll see a lot, in all sincerity, we will see a lot of growth from actually both directions, truly. In all directions, even diagonally. But from the terminology you're using, yes, we will see growth in both directions. I think we are going to go ahead and use the thermogun because a lot of people have requested it. We'll pop that on. We'll show you why it's really good and also really bad in one swift motion, all right? Would it be cool to have something short range and devastating? Yes, I am using the scatter gun, so I will show you just that. The more polished, the better. Good. Good. Okay, so let's check this out. Storage is looking fine. My goodness, our ship is looking pretty good. So we are going to launch out into the home base area where we are going to see some action. Now, for the clever eyes out there, you may notice some differences on our ship. The body in particular, right here, we have been hard at work. Matthias been hard at work working on these. Wait, is it Matthias or is it Alex? Oh my gosh. I keep forgetting who does our player ships. Oh my gosh. It's either Matthias or Alex. I gotta give one of them credit, but not the other one. Woo! Oh my gosh. You'd think that I could keep track of a group of 20 passionate guys in game design. Oh my gosh. It never fails, guys. It never fails. But you will notice that there is a lot more polish on the back end of this ship. Like this segment right here, there's more detail. There's more stuff going on. And I'm gonna show you even more when I launch out of here, what that looks like even further. Okay, so before we even combat those enemies floating out there, we're just gonna go to the pause screen. We've shown the customization of the ship multiple times. You have your engines that you can change. We're gonna keep the ones we have. You have the wings that you can change, right? But we wanna look at this body right here. Oh, let's get some better lighting. Nice little rotation, perfect for this. So just wanted to show you the different bodies. And you can see like a lot more detail, like this little engine coupling, maybe you wanna call it. And see the polish at the top of the cockpits as well. It's coming along quite well, I think. Look, this one has a spoiler now. I know we had a spoiler request. This one's for that random person who's been requesting spoilers every single stream. But much more detail added, making these come together. So even the front's getting a little bit more polished, cleaned up. That might be a lie. I think it's just the back. But just making the pieces feel more fit in place instead of like little Legos that are just plugged together. Yeah, look at this. You can see these bits are all being polished up. And we're feeling pretty good. I'm a big fan of this. Like it's kind of like the you know, like the Iron Man sort of tick 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 tick. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's what this reminds me of, and I dig it. You know, very good stuff. Look at that. Oh, yes. Just getting those little details just really adds so much quality, I feel. And we want to make sure that each of the ship models that you are choosing, each of the ones that you are defining as your own, we want to have that level of polish and creativity so that you feel like the ship is your own. It's highly customized, and we'll go more from that in the future. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, look at these. Look at this one. I think this one was like super boring back end, and now it's actually got some pipes, or you know, whatever you want to call those. The detail, the polish, that's the important thing here, right? These added little traits defining your ship. Even this little section, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. And finally, this is the last one. This is the one that we've been using. We got like this little radial element on the end. And then another little baby spoiler. That's right, we have two spoilers, both tiny. But it's not the size that matters. All right. Also, what's this? Can we get in on this? What is that? Oh my gosh, there's actually text there. I actually didn't notice this. Beautiful. Beautiful text. Somebody's gonna snip that and they're gonna try to interpret it. It's probably lorem ipsum, just giving you a heads up, but you know, have some fun with it. All right, now we're back to our normal one. Just a nice little sliver of the content that we're working on. There may even be more detail work in the wings and whatnot that I didn't notice because like I said, I've been on vacation all week, so today's my day back. This morning I've been running through to make sure that the build is playable for you guys. The content that I can show isn't going to, you know, destroy everything. That being said, if I do die, the game will crash. So that's kind of fun. Not really. So we're gonna try not to die, as anyone normally would. Maybe this will remain a feature. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? If you die, it crashes the game. Does that seem fair? Oh, goodness. All right. So let's go ahead and fly out here. We've got our thermo gun, and we have our scatter gun. And we'll use it to great effect, hopefully. Hopefully. Can I paint it hot pink? I don't think we have a hot pink option at this time, but I know that our color options are going to be far more advanced than they were in EVERSPACE 1, and EVERSPACE 1 did have a hot pink option. So the chances are pretty great. The chances are pretty great. Will we be able to change the ship materials in addition to color? Data cluster, I love that question. So we have had that question a number of times about the texture of the ship. So like I said, I changed over to this blue because this blue has a metallic feature to it, right? Look at that shimmer. Oh, I love it. And so we'll have certain options that have certain textural qualities to them, but I don't know if you'll be able to choose the textural quality and choose the color. That would be a question I would have to recycle and ask accordingly. That could be a lot more work than what we had anticipated already for the million modules that we're using for the ships. So know that we do want to make sure that you have as many options as possible, but we also have to finish the game. And if we put all of the emphasis on just customizing your ship, then what else is there, right? So, but don't worry, we are making sure there are a vibrant amount of options. Can we add custom logos? There are logos that are applied to the ship. We'll probably talk more about logos in the future. But Marcus, just to give you a direct response to that, I'm pretty confident when I say you will not be able to use custom logos. There's a number of reasons why that is, but long story short, we will have a selection of logos that you should be able to choose from, and more on that in the future. More on that in the future. All right. Oh my goodness. If the mic picked that up, that would be glorious. If it didn't, just know that I just cracked my neck and I'm safe. Everything's fine. Let's go out and blow some stuff up. Thermogun first. So we are fighting some level 11s because we need a challenge. I wanted to have a healthy dosage of pain delivered straight to my forehead, and that's how we're gonna do it. Now with the thermogun, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does lock on, right? And these drones, my goodness, these drones, we don't even have to worry too much about them. We can 360 no scope. Wow, all those shots missed. And we're out of energy, so we're gonna cycle over to our scattergun, pummel him, change back to our thermogun because we have a really good energy core. We're gonna try and drop these guys further down, at least their shields, because the scattergun deals terrible damage to shields, but really impressive damage up close and personal, as you saw there. Perfect. I also decided to change up our devices because I've noticed, I kind of did a little bit of self-research, went back through my streams and noticed that I'm very particular about the devices that I use. So I'm using two that can be kind of effective back to back here. One is the EMP generator, which you guys I know have seen, and the other one is the Annihilator virus, which a lot of you are excited about, at least from the forums you claim to be excited about. And this is why. Because that massive damage that they do is massive. All right, so now we're just gonna head back to base. Anything happen while I was flying around? Nothing happened, huh? Okay. That's fine. We're gonna generate some more enemies here for us to fight in a moment. No biggie. First, I'm gonna dock at the home base, just look at the stuff that we found, and we'll go from there. No love for penguin in space? We never said no to penguins. Is combat easier than EVERSPACE 1, or are you just that good? Well, in my defense, I've played this game a ton. I have tested this game a ton. And also, the enemies that I'm facing against, I am pretty well outfitted for anything at my level or even a little bit higher. So, all in all, I would say that I'm not giving my opponents a fair chance here, but we are making them a little bit beefier so that you can see a little bit of the dynamic. Okay, so we did find a couple weapons. I'm just gonna dismantle these. Dismantling is a part of the game. We got carbon powder, something that we can't quite talk too much more about yet. A lot of people have been asking about crafting mechanics. We're not there yet, but just know that there's obviously a means to that. And it should be good in the near future. Oh, I missed a question that Michael has responded to, and I want to make sure everybody knows. So Johnny Moore over on YouTube asked, will early access allow PlayStation 4 to play? And the official response from my boss, the big CEO, Michael himself, says there are no plans for early access on consoles. We're still a fairly small team, so maintaining dev branches on PC and console simultaneously would slow down overall development significantly. This is also true for our Linux support as well. So as many of you know, we are supporting Linux. We absolutely want to do that. We have a strong Linux following behind us. But we also want to make sure we're building out one game solid first. And then once we know that that is everything that it positively needs to be, we will branch out and bring that game to as many platforms and systems as possible. So great question. Thank you for that answer, Michael. Just for everybody to have that inclusion. Will you be showing some in-cockpit gameplay? Oh, Brooks, absolutely. Absolutely, I will do that. I'm also gonna do something off screen here for a second, because while I did prepare the stream for you guys to do a little section, it seems that it kicked it out since I left the game and then returned to it. So I'm gonna re-prepare this. So for just a moment or two, I want to talk about the community of EVERSPACE, all right? So the main thing to note is that we have a pretty decent following through Discord. We have a lot of healthy conversation there. It's a lot of fun. I encourage you to all take part in that because, you know, generally, I think it's a healthy place to go when you're talking about anything and everything when it comes to sci-fi, even some fantasy stuff there. It really is a lot of fun. So definitely encourage you to jump in there and hang out with us as you see fit. In addition, we also on Twitter, and we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, Instagram, there it is. Yeah, so we have a lot of content that we show in a lot of different places. And I just really encourage you guys to head over there to those sites if you are interested, and have some fun, you know? It's good fun. It's good fun for all of us. So I am coordinating the last bits of this. We will be diving right back in. I promise it'll be good. And show you some fun stuff. Okay, now that my super secret elements have been put into place, I now need to ask you guys, what type of weapons would you like me to utilize this time around? Do we want to still have the scattergun and the thermogun, or do we want to change things up? We do have a lot of options. Basically, you can think, do you want energy heavy? Do you want kinetic heavy? Do you want close range? Do you want long range? Do you want a balance? That timing? What timing? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the Nightbot timing. Yeah, it's funny. Maybe devs can add a space chick in the style, like to slap on the side of your spaceship. Yeah, no, I think that would be really cool. I think one of the strongest elements that we have here at Rockfish Games is our integrity, and it will not be swayed, nor will it be bought by any other individuals who want to have creative licensees over us. And through that process, we really do want to have a beautiful, concise, constructed, and consolidated element to everything that is presented in the game. This is one of those reasons why we don't want to have people plastering whatever they want as their logo. You know, even if it is something that you deem really cool, it might not actually... We just want to have a little bit more control over that, so that when the screenshots come out of our ships, there's a tie-in with everything in place, including those logos, okay? That's the main reason. Yeah, of course we want to avoid space dicks, okay? Obviously, that's one element. We don't want you flying around with a really hard hole, okay? It's fine, okay? But we want to take a very delicate process through that to make it clean, simple, appropriate, and fun, and consistent, and great. Yeah, I think we just nailed it. Okay, boom, done. Thank you. I'm seeing flak railgun, pulse laser. I'm seeing long range. Okay, I think we'll go to long range a little bit. So we'll do a railgun and we'll do a coil gun. We'll do these back to back. A lot of people look at these two weapons and are like, what's the difference? So let's show you. I think this will be a nice way to distinguish those. A German wearing German headphones, 1,000 out of 10. Thank you. Your logo could offend people. We're not really worried about offending people. We just want to make sure our game looks awesome. And we know that some people are going to screw that up. I mean, that's the truth right there, okay? All right. So now we have some level 12s. I just upped the ante, all right? And let's utilize this long-range stuff. This is the railgun. Nice shot, me. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. This weapon can be a little tricky to use. I guess I'm making it look easy. Drones can be simple. Otherwise, they can do a ton of damage if you are not careful. And then our coil gun here is fast-paced, but as you can see, it's not nearly as accurate. It still has the range, and we need to immediately cycle weapons. Try and get some distance. Oh, beautiful. Hey, these guys are chumps. I don't even know why I was concerned. We do need to make sure that we don't take any armor damage, because we can get wrecked fast from these guys. And I'm employing some very basic maneuvering known as circle strafing. Okay, so now you will see some new enemies just warped in. They are assaulting our base, and you'll also see we have some elite outlaw scouts. This is something that we showed and talked about briefly in the last stream, that elites are in fact coming back to EVERSPACE 2. So if you need a further challenge, don't worry, we're delivering on that. And we'll have more about different enemy types and their effects as they come out in the future. Oh yes, I love this track. Oh, he has an armor drone. Made him survive. Ah, that armor drone. Where's it at? I don't see it. Maybe there's not an armor drone. Maybe that's a feature of being an elite. Okay, hang on a second. We gotta annihilate some things. Oh! This is what I get for making an energy core focused on weaponry. My boosters are not so hot right now. Okay, he's gonna die from the virus. That's good. Yeah. Oh, another bomber. Okay, so we dropped some foes from the Annihilator virus and it's spread. Now this coil gun and the rail gun, I mean, they're servicing us fairly well here, but we are kind of getting up close and personal with these bombers because we have to. If we keep them at range, we're gonna run into some issues with them pounding us with missiles. Let's get a little bit of cover. Also, let's change our vantage point. All right. Oof! That was a strong hit. Our shields are down. All right, we're gonna take out these missile drones, because if we don't, our missiles are gonna get fried. Take his shields down. Take this. All right, feels good. Looks like we got another wave coming at us. All right. Woo! So far, we're doing okay. We've taken some armor damage. Our shields have repaired themselves, because that's what shields do. Some of you may be wondering, oh man, that shield bar is really tiny, and so is the armor compared to our hull. Yeah, so something to keep in mind, this is work in progress right now. What we are trying to do, the effect that we want to have for you guys, is to have a quick comparison of how much shield you have in comparison to your armor in comparison to your hull. Now, please keep in mind, these values can change, and they can change wildly through the course of development. So what you see here is very much a dev build, where we're just having very static values plugged in based on some calculations that we've made to hopefully balance things out. So our shield is only 300, our armor is about 600, and our hull is about 3,500. That's why you see such a wide range of those figures there, okay? But again, balancing, adjusting, figure changing, nothing is completely set in stone just yet. Okay. Woo. Woo. We feeling good? I'm feeling good. I needed a break from that combat. That's how good this is feeling. All right. Noob question, how to do circle strafing? Hey, totally a great question coming from Headbanging Maniac. We have a very easy control scheme, both for keyboard users and controller users alike. In fact, I would argue that it's even easier for controller users. Basically, your left analog stick is your it's your strafing and your hovering. Strafing left and right, hovering is your up and down. So with the left analog stick, you can basically move up, down, left, and right freely by just rotating that. So you just like rotate it, and this looks really questionable here, but you rotate it and your ship basically moves like this. And that circle strafe provides a very easy method of evasion, because your opponents, at least the ones that we currently have that I'm fighting, lead their target. What does that mean? Some quick context is important here for anybody who's never heard any of this ever. Leading your target means your target is here, they're going to move here, so you shoot here for your shot to hit them. That's leading a target. When you're moving in a circle, you're moving this direction, they shoot here. Now you're moving this direction, they shoot here. You're moving this direction, they shoot here. So you're moving in this circle and they're shooting outside the circle. It's a basic form of protection for AI that follow a very specific pattern. You can do this in EVERSPACE 1. You can currently do it in EVERSPACE 2. Excellent. Woo! Also, Michael and Shu, thank you so much for addressing any questions and comments that are going on in the chats. You guys are awesome. Chatters, just know that if you do ask a question that I missed, have no fear. I'm not dodging your questions. We want to be as transparent as possible with what we're doing through development at Rockfish Games, as well as servicing you. I mean, this is your community stream. So be diligent, be patient. I really do appreciate the questions coming in. We will get to them, I promise. So thank you. All right, let's go ahead and, do we want to change up our weapons? Do we like this? Do we like this combination? Will there be a cloaking device? Yes. To render your ship invisible? Yes. For a stealth mission? That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? Will controller remapping be supported eventually? For PC, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. For consoles, it gets sticky, all right? I know that we will have control schemes available for consoles, inevitably. Don't know if we'll have full remapping support. It would actually be a lot easier to remap it on the console itself as opposed to inside the game. That's a lot of additional work, believe it or not. So we'll see what we can do, but my guess is that it's probably a no regarding full controller remapping support for consoles. Are there plans for more maneuvers than boosting and rotating movement up and down? If you're referring to games like Star Fox that have a barrel roll, aileron roll hype, am I right? Or if you have like your U-turns. So we wanted to put all of the emphasis in direct control of your ship. If you are performing maneuvers by issuing certain combinations, we feel that's actually taking away that control and could actually be harmful to some of the gameplay. For example, if you go through a minefield and you issue a U-turn, well, are you locked into that U-turn and you have to take damage from the mines there? Like, is that because, like, you chose that and you can't sway that instance anymore? Like, do we want you to be able to sway that instance? Because I personally do. I would much rather see somebody perform a U-turn and go like this, boom, not have any problems, as opposed to be locked in place to an instance of what they just did, not having control and waiting for a sequence to complete. So that's kind of our mentality through that process. We really want you to have full, precise control over your vessel. Sorry, there's something in my eyes. Woo! Oh, it's my fingers! Oh, silly me. Will controller control be more usable in the new game? For me, the first game controller control is so weird and hard to play compared to other space sims or flying games. Well, I think that it is very different from a space sim because this isn't a space sim, for one. As far as a flying game, I think it's really important to know that our control mentality regarding controllers specifically is more akin to that of a fast-paced first-person shooter, except now it's in 6 degrees, so we wanted to have the ability to move up and down very easily as well. So if you take that into consideration and you compare it to a first-person shooter, you'll find yourself quite at home here. If you are comparing it to a space sim, yeah, I think that you're gonna have a much more bumpy ride. And to that, I will say one of two things. One, utilize the remapping support we have on PC or different control schemes for console. And two, just try to adjust to it and see what it's like, because this is a different territory than perhaps what you're used to, all right? But a great question. Great question. I'm guessing you're including the PS5 and Xbox Series. Yeah, well, so the thing about that is we have not disclosed any information of the directions that we're taking EVERSPACE to at this point in time. If we are moving in that direction, we will make official announcements and all that type of stuff on the appropriate channels. So just stay tuned. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll let you know, okay? It's like a 6 degrees of freedom, but in a giant world instead of in tunnels. It's true, Brooks. In addition to that, we also do have space tunnels. We do have some pretty intense close quarter combat inside of asteroids and through caves, including planetary sites, where you are going to have to think on the fly and utilize tools that are going to best your opponent in one-on-one close quarter combat. So don't get too comfortable with all this open space you see here. It can change rapidly. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, so let's take on some, oh my gosh, we got snipers? Actually, let's use these snipers to get the snipers. I also see some mines getting thrown at us. That's dangerous. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna change up our weapons though. I'm gonna go, yeah, this song is poppin'. I love this song. We're gonna go close quarter. Let's go blaster scattergun. Here we go. We have to get real close, but maybe we can dodge the mines. Ooh! Oh, we took a lot of damage from that shot. This Ravager is really strong. Okay, we're gonna have to take out some of his forces on the outside, I think. And we have to dodge those mines or we're dead. A lot of mines getting thrown at us and dropped. Woo! It's almost like this was planned to be a mine-heavy situation that we'd have to deal with. Let's try and turn the tables. Ooh! Ouch! Okay, so we've actually taken hull damage. Ooh! Doing a strong amount of damage, though, with the scattergun. That Annihilator virus should take the rest of him out. Whoop! Big guy. Now these guys, I don't know if you noticed that, but I just popped off his armor plating. See that? The plating on the ship is actually getting blasted away when I shoot him. It's good to have a scattergun in this section to do that, because you can deal a lot more damage. Oh yeah, that feels good. Man, there's so much loot around us. All right, let's get this outlaw mine layer. Good. So much loot. Let's collect some of it. Let's see. We just have an armor drone all the way over in the distance. That's funny. Oh man, we collected so much stuff, we're full. Nice. This guy forgot to join his buddies. This was the one who was protecting our foes. Right the last second. So this will be a nice, easy engagement for us. And then we'll go look at some of the stuff that we've collected and talk about the itemization a little bit. That'll be fun. Come here, you. Now, that drone may not have seemed very tough all by its lonesome, and that's actually the point. But when those guys are with their allies, they are devastating. Holy cow. Okay. All right. Quick breather. And we're just gonna look at some of the stuff here, just because we can. Beautiful cockpit view. Thank you, Phoenix. We're pretty proud of our cockpits. They're coming along quite nicely, and we haven't even shown you too much of the customization there yet. So I hope that you're looking forward to it. Another Ravager. Wait, there was? Oh gosh. Woo! Launch the nukes. I'd say we nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And in EVERSPACE 2, you can play as corvettes and cruisers? Actually, no. Tiflock, the question comes from YouTube. So we are very focused on a single fighter experience. Yes, it is also a single player, yes, but it's a single fighter experience. So what that means is that everything is centralized and developed around the idea of a one-man fighter. Now, the size of that ship can vary. It can be like really super bound, like basically it's a shell around your body, all the way up to, I would say, like almost a small frigate size. So there is a dynamic range of ship styles that will be available at full release. But in comparison to like an actual large transport or a dreadnought or something like that, no. There's an intentional way that we've designed it so that the core gameplay revolves around that one-man fighter type ship. So if that might also answer a couple of you asking like, oh, well, can I play like completely like a service ship? Can I do like a trader? You know, can I go that direction? You kind of can, but remember, all of these ships, they are focused as fighters. But by all means, you can discover trade lanes, you can build up your reputation with certain factions and gain rewards for trading with them, maybe even smuggling items. We'll see what happens through development. But again, the focus really is a one-manned fighter ship that you will be piloting through the game. I want a big hunker with miniguns. I mean, I think you'll be pleased with the heavies. Okay, so let's just look at a couple of these items and talk about the itemization. Again, I say it a billion times in the streams, but it's important. This is all work in progress. You could see more modifiers than this. You could see completely changed modifiers that are currently implemented. So let that be known. We have a high capacity rocket launcher. This is one of the unique prefixes that can be applied to a weapon upon collection. What does that high capacity means? I hope that it's a pretty literal interpretation that you've just picked up, because when we compare this to our other rocket launcher we have 60 more rockets that we can hold. So instead of just 200 rockets, we now have 260 that we are holding all at once. In addition, we have a 30% increased damage against units with a higher level than your own, which Actually sounds pretty good right about now. If this was a rare item or superior item, I probably would take it up on that. Unfortunately, it's just uncommon. So we're gonna go ahead and dismantle that. It also says cannot be damaged. Damage is a feature that we are pulling over from EVERSPACE 1, but we're expanding upon what that looks like and what that does to you. So for example, when you are attacked without shields, without armor, if you reach a certain hull point threshold, say your blaster could actually get damaged on your ship. So that means its energy capacity is gonna skyrocket, or its range is gonna get diminished, or its damage is gonna be far less impactful. Something is gonna happen to the weapon when it gets damaged. So you'll have to cycle out for another weapon, or you'll have to obviously repair it if you want to utilize it again. They can never be fully destroyed. That's not something we want to take from you as a player, especially in a looter shooter. I think if we designed a game where we had an intentional element of removing an item that you found permanently, you would hate us for that. We would hate ourselves for that. That's not going to happen, but they can get damaged. You'll have to repair them. They can also get overheated. This is a similar mechanic from EVERSPACE 1 as well. Whenever something overheats, that's going to be some type of additional effect that you receive. Maybe you're too close to a star, maybe you get hit by a certain rocket from an enemy, stuff like that, where you can't use the weapon in a certain capacity or degree for a certain amount of time. These effects can apply to all of the different modules, by the way. So your sensors could get knocked out momentarily from a disrupting missile. And while they're disrupted, you lose all of the attributes on this sensor until that comes back up. So you have to be, that actually might have been stretching it a little bit. Not all the attributes, the main core elements of the sensor, the ship's range, the loot range, and the resource range, all of that will be diminished. As far as like the bonuses on the bottom, I'm fairly confident those stay with you. So sorry about my misspeak there. I'm just excited and sharing all this content with you, okay? But the sensors would otherwise be knocked out for that time. If they get damaged, maybe it's just diminished by 50%, something like that. But each one of your different modules, your weapons, can be affected by this. Some of the abilities on these is that they cannot be damaged, like this thermogun. That could be a very, very strong element if you find it on the right weapon for the right job, if the opponents you're facing constantly knock out your weapons or your modules, right? So certain things to keep track of. Yep, don't touch my loot. We hear you, loud and clear, sure, certainly. Will there be a hardcore mode too? Well, that is a really bold question, and I love it. Just note that the genre of EVERSPACE 2 is completely changed from EVERSPACE 1. So EVERSPACE 1 was a roguelike, right? EVERSPACE 2 is an open world RPG. So a hardcore mode would look very different to an open world RPG than a roguelike. Because a roguelike, you're restarting every run, you have an added challenge, maybe new enemy types, new locations, stuff like that. Whereas, oh, look at that. Initial nano injector, which instantly restores 300 hull points. Versus an open world RPG where if you're changing the game mode of the open world RPG, you're effectively starting a new game. And that looks very different in that setting, which is a game that's meant to last for 30 plus hours versus a roguelike run, which is meant to last for 2 to 3 hours, right? So we're being careful about the difficulty of EVERSPACE 2 and how it can change with where you go and the decisions that you make, versus EVERSPACE 1, where the difficulty is bound to the run itself or the game mode, like hardcore mode. All of that being said, one last thing that might excite you is that we do have in-game content planned for EVERSPACE 2 to increase the challenge and also better your loot. So if you are into those high-risk, high-reward systems, a more hardcore mode styled experience, we are looking into offering that through what are called ancient rifts. We've talked about this a couple of times, but basically what it is it's a roguelike run in EVERSPACE 2. Like we're basically putting EVERSPACE 1 into EVERSPACE 2 as the in-game content, where you go through a rift, go through procedurally generated environments, face off enemies at random, maybe have a unique mission that you have to solve, and based on how far you get and what you accomplish, you will then be rewarded for it. You get kicked out of the rift, You can do it again, or you can go to very specific locations in an open world RPG persistent area of space. Whew. Woo! Lots and lots and lots of it. I wonder if there will be a sewer level? There kind of is. There kind of is, like space mines. Would you, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. I don't know. I don't particularly want to fly my ship through a sewer. It could be interesting though. We'll see what type of groundwork we lay for the literal ground in the game. Planetary side is what I mean to say. Because there are stations, there are caves and caverns and structures like that, or environments like that to explore. So maybe it's possible. We'll see. Okay, so I've completely distracted myself from the combat that's about to ensue to kind of prepare myself. I'm actually nervous, guys. Like, this looks like a pretty big assortment of foes. Ooh, copper. Anti-grav modules. Oh, a Benka speed word device. Let's talk about this very briefly. We do have different manufacturers in the game of EVERSPACE 2. You actually caught a glimpse of the manufacturers in the codex of EVERSPACE 1. So the keen of eye will know, oh, I know Benka, I know everything that they do. They're always about these supercharged energy type utensils and abilities. Yeah, nailed it. That's solid. That's great. So they made this shield called the Speed Word. It could prove to be very valuable to us, especially if we had other materials or other modules that were developed by Benka and maybe would synergize, creating a manufacturer bonus. I hope that you like that. I like that. I'm looking forward to when it gets implemented. It's cool, man. We're gonna get rid of these mine launchers. There's rocket launchers. We're just getting rid of all this stuff to make room because we're gonna pick up so much more stuff. I just know it. But let's go ahead and use these mine launchers instead of the rocket launchers. That could be fun. And let's go to the common pulse laser. I know somebody just cringed. They're like, oh my gosh, add some variety. Hey, some people haven't seen this. It's a nice consistent weapon. We'll use the pulse laser. And not the autocannon 2. That's way too generic. But maybe we'll do the beam laser. Beam laser, pulse laser. All right? That should be good. Know your manufacturers. True. It can help. I think the outlaws really want you to not be there anymore. Yeah. They think that. We're gonna show them up, I hope. I hope. I could use some repairs though. Maybe I should head back to Bake and repair first. And maybe we could swap out our devices too. Let's take a quick look at devices. So devices come in two flavors. They come in the combat flavor and they come in the utility flavor. Combat is red or magenta for those of you who are very specific about your colorations. And the utility, which are green. Support. It's the specific term used. Support. Excellent. And what that distinction means is if it's largely going to be focused in combat or if it's largely focused in support. And I keep saying combat, and it's actually warfare. Goodness gravy, my terms. Warfare or support, okay? Warfare, support. Memorize it because I've tried and apparently I can't. Whoops. Warfare and support. Excellent. And you can organize them by that. For now, in the current build, we have 5 and 5. It's teal. Okay, fair, blue, goodness baby, I did say magenta. That's fair correction. All right, I yield to thee, good sir. Perfect. But we have warfare and we have support. Teal and magenta. Very good. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Energize Boost for the start of this combat. This is a combo I've showed in commentated videos, but I love it so much. So this Energize Boost is using a ability on it, a mode that allows us to ramming speed our opponents. If that doesn't excite you, I mean, it's that simple. It allows you to ram your opponents. When you fly close to them, it deals X amount of damage, pushing them away. Yay! In addition to that, we'll change our EMP generator. Let's do a warfare device. Magnetic repulsor, let's just be really pushy, right? Let's just be really pushy. So we'll do the magnetic repulsor and We could try to have the opponents get pushed at the same time using swing together. Or we could just be a serial pusher and have one additional charge. We're gonna have one additional charge. We're gonna try and help this, make this nice and clean. So, energize boost, we're gonna fly in and push them all away, and then we are going to select them and literally push them away from us using our magnetic repulsor. Excellent. Who doesn't get excited by a ram? Wait, sounds like a trap. No, that was a horse. That was a horse. Annihilator virus is really good for this scenario, though. Yeah, but I've already shown it, Geometry Prime. We gotta add some flavor to the stream. All right. Okay. That's even more intimidating. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just close the gap. Oh, that felt great. Okay, get away from me. Let's just chop down these anti-missile drones. I know that there's a couple more. No, there's not. Was that all of them? Prepare yourself. Awesome. Ooh, okay. Got a lot of elites. We're gonna use our beam lasers. Oh my gosh, that ram was not to our desire. We do have some nanobots, so we can heal up a little bit. Whoo! Try and focus this guy down. We gotta dodge those missiles because they will kill us in an instant. Let's get some more damage in here. Ooh! Ouch! All right. We need some sticky turret buddies. Woo! A lot of damage here. Get wrecked! Okay. Ah, bad shots. All right, let's get some mines out for this one. Come at me, bro. Okay, good, good. Just try and keep this guy disabled. Head on over there, would you? All right. Consistent damage can really come in handy. Get some more turrets out. Do your work, turrets. Ouch! Okay. I think our focus needs to be these bombers, because they are really doing damage to us. Ouch! Good, good, good. I have never used this many consumables in combat before, guys. Let's try and focus this one down. Good. All right. Looks like the last one here. Let's play with our food. Oops! Here, let's take him back to our, let's take him to our turrets. So we can get the right angle. Here we go. Yeah, we're having fun now. Didn't your mother ever tell you It's not nice to play with your food. Oh, but here it's so satisfying. Head on over there. All right, turrets, do your work. Oh, come on. Come on, turrets. Don't let me down. I have made this so clean and easy for you, turrets. We need to reprogram the turrets. They're not good enough. Woo! Yeah, those missiles would do a lot of damage. We are completely out of consumables. Ah, okay. All right, turrets have not let us down. That feels good, ladies and gentlemen. Complete clear of a big pile of level 12s when we're a mere level 10. We did take some damage. We got some scuffed up paint. You can see that from all the blasts nearby. I don't think anything's peeling off too much. Oh, the logo is actually peeling off a little bit. You can tell that. Actually, let's take a closer look here. I think we actually did take some interior damage on this side. Yeah, looks like it bypassed the hole just enough. That's unfortunate. But otherwise, we don't look too bad. Nothing we can't buff out. Not too shabby. Feeling pretty good. Oh, ooh, look, we got singed right under the R. Ooch. Okay. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty clean. Also, this is a nice close look at one of the weapons. I can't remember which weapon this is. Oh, goodness. We do actually have custom look for the individual weapons, so you can actually see the difference here as we swap over. This is the pulse laser for sure. Has a very similar look and feel as EVERSPACE 1. But they're even color-coded to match your ship. Isn't that neat? Your weapons also get a color change. How neat is that? And speaking of the actual weapon of the projectile, the actual color of the projectile of the weapon, you may have noticed that through the randomization of items, that also can change. That can also be differentiated between different weapons. So yeah, I think overall feels pretty good. There's so much loot, and are we full up again? I can't remember. No, we got space. So let's take a couple things. Wow, that was so much stuff. Goodness gravy, we can't even pick this up. Already full. We'll just hang out next to these Hydra anemones. They're pleasant, right? They're delightful. We'll just kind of park right here for the moment. We'll answer some questions. Here, we'll take it a step further. We'll just like sit in the cockpit, answer some questions. Whew! Guys, I'm not gonna lie, that felt pretty good. So Andy and I had a conversation before the stream. Andy is one of the lead developers of EVERSPACE 2. And he said, we have a problem with this build. I'm concerned. I was like, what's that? He says, well, there's a bug where if you die, it completely crashes the game. Now, I already mentioned this in the stream. But he was like, yeah, so all you have to do is just don't die. And I was being really cocky and I was like, that's my speciality. So it feels good to have actually done that, okay? I wasn't really confident when I said it to Andy, but yay victory there. But you will see a lot of these situations and instances fall before you, especially in the full game. Regardless of your level, there will always be challenges that are just out of your reach that are really gonna test your use of all your consumables and your weapons at hand. And depending on what type of devices that you have synced up with the synergies of those various modules and even your weapons, you're going to be able to take strong advantage of those situations, or maybe you won't. I'm really glad that we used the tools that we had. I think that the Energize Boost coupled together with the Magnetic Repulsor was a solid choice. I hope that you agree. Really pleased with those results, in fact. Just a flesh wound, says David. I like you. Very nice. Excellent. Where's the pink color? I don't think pink is implemented yet. What you see here also, whenever I cycle the ship colors, please note, this is not all of them at all. This is not, that's got a pinkish look to it. It might just because the skin, oh gosh, the skin. The armor is tainted here. That might be a pinkish going on there. But just know that these are just themes for your ship, okay? In fact, let me do this again because I seem to be having a little bug. Oh, come on, don't do this right now. Give me my visuals back. Hang on, I'm gonna dock at the home base and then I'm gonna talk more about this, okay? But basically, we wanted to have a visual look and feel, not just for your ship colors, but also for the lights on your ship, okay? Hopefully this resets it good. So you can see that there's these cyan glowing lights in accordance to this green, black, and orange style that we have. I'm a big fan of this. Let's also move some storage over. Everything else we're gonna scrap. Goodness gravy. Not everything, but I digress. So you can really see it in the darkness here. I'm gonna do this really quick. Go ahead and avoid the lateral thrusters, but the implementation of those, that's to give you the sense of how you're moving, especially with the strafing and the hovering that we talked about earlier in the stream. It's important that you can realize how your ship is moving. Because if you don't understand that, well, that makes it harder for us to give you exact control over your ship. Wouldn't you agree? So that lateral thruster implementation gives you that feedback of if you're moving backwards, if you're moving downwards, if you're moving to the side, and you can see directly on the ship. It's quite nice. So in the darkness, we have these lights that are shining. You can see them very clearly. When we change the ship, the colors also change. And we do want to have some form of consistency. Some of them will be different for other reasons. But each time, there's a specific ship coloration that is applied overall. And these lights also carry over to the cockpit as well. So you'll see that the lights surrounding the dash, like this one's blue glowing, this one's orange glowing, yellow, blue again, yellow, another orange. Like this is going to be a consistent theme through all of the ship customization, and there may even be more customization in the future. Of course there will be more in the future, of course. So lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. Have I said customization enough yet in the stream? Because if I haven't, I can easily say it about 50 more times. Oh man, I really like the I'm gonna call them golden borders of this one. Just the look of this ship as a whole. I mean, it's pretty scratched up right now, but I love the orange accent. And especially in the cockpit, like everything having this nice clean that line, for example, and then around each of our data. Oh my gosh, I really love the way that this is all coming together. Also, can you see the reflection of the weapon on the side because of the metallic nature? Can you see it? There's a reflection right in the middle of the screen. And it does change when the weapons change. Like you can see, it's a true reflection. It happens on both sides. RTX on. Yeah, I think it is. So lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of details pertaining to the customization that you guys will have a pretty good control over, inevitably. Just gonna cycle through some more ship options. Oh, of course, we need to look at the ship more clearly. I'm actually a big fan of this one. But again, these are themes that you would be able to choose from for now. We are planning on implementing a full range of color selections for the full game. What I mean by that is you'd be able to choose between your primary, secondary, and tertiary colors, okay? I'm not actually sure how much creativity we will allow for selecting those colors, but I'm hoping that it's going to be pretty large. When I find more information out, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I see a question from Zende. And I see a number of questions. So let's go ahead and answer some questions while we're docked here. Also, let's repair our ship. Oh, much better. Nice and clean. Beautiful. Lights, really nice idea. They have another goal. I mean, There are lights that literally allow you to see things up close. So like, let's just go to the dark side of this asteroid really quick, and then we'll answer some questions. I know some of you are like, oh, come on. So it's like, oh yeah, it's really dark over here. That's actually, this is with our lights on. With our lights off, it's incredibly dark. You can turn the lights off? Yeah, yeah, that's fine. It's fine, right? Yeah, you're welcome. It was a request. We thought it'd be nice. We also increased the strength of the lights. So for all of you guys from EVERSPACE 1 who's like, the light's not very good, ner. I am literally making fun of people who provided feedback for our first game. That is so savage. I don't know if you understand that. But no, seriously, we took that feedback to heart, truly, and we decided, you know what? We're gonna have a lot more close quarter combat in EVERSPACE 2. We're gonna have some intricate tunnel design. We're gonna have some explorable space that's very dark. It's gonna be important to have a functional light. So yeah, that's why we went that direction. Absolutely. Absolutely. Where's the cup holder? Oh, man. I knew someone was gonna notice. I don't know if we'll have a cup holder or not, but we will include some fun elements, I'm sure. Okay, let's answer some questions. I've been putting that off. I'm sorry. Let's go in. Is there the possibility of wingmen? There are companions throughout the game that you will be meeting. One of which is Dax, one of which is Delia. They are going to serve you in a number of ways, not only providing different perks that enhance your abilities, but also by providing strategic support during certain missions and whatnot. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself too much here, because there's a lot more to talk about regarding the companions. So we are going to let future Eric and future Rockfish Games describe that when the time is right, okay? But yeah, just note that companions can literally be your sidekicks in a mission as well. Just joined, did I miss any gameplay? No, we haven't played the game at all, Alberto. You haven't missed anything. It's great, perfect timing. Guys, don't tell him that we just fought a bunch of crazy outlaw waves. Okay. Let's see. Just an idea, but can you add a mascot standing in front of the window for a cockpit view? So we have heard a lot of requests about interior cockpit goods, doodads, trinkets. So know that your voice is heard. We'll see. We'll see. We're not entirely sure how much value that's going to add to the experience overall, but we'll see. It'll be a talking point, I'm sure, in the future at some point. Let's see. Will you be able to scan objects and get information? So James, I love that question. There are a lot of little features, including mini games, that we haven't really broken down and discussed yet, just because we're still in alpha, right? So there's a lot more content that will be coming out in the future. Just keep your eye on us. Man, I know, okay, it's starting to sound repetitive here. I want to give you guys some confidence here, all right? Because I know I'm basically saying, you guys have to wait and find out. And it's a crappy answer, okay? I understand that. I understand. You don't like hearing, just wait and find out. But I also want you guys to understand that we are really heavy in an alpha right now. And what you see in this upper left is it says closed beta. I mean, we're approaching our closed beta that's coming out later this month, okay? There are a lot of steps that we have to take to not only ensure that the content is meeting the expectations that we have, but it's also build ready for you guys to dive into as well. So when I do say, you know, you'll have to check back in the future, it's not that we haven't thought about it, we don't care, your voice is really important to us, but it's not, you know, it's not like that, okay? It's that early access is still at the end of this year. And early access is going to be when those doors fling wide open and your feedback and our development are going to just lock in place, ka-ching, and we're going to have an incredible year in 2021 working with you guys so that we can enhance our vision with your support, okay? So that's why I have to word it like that, even though it does kind of suck. It's because we still have a lot of development in the future. And I do appreciate your guys' understanding with that, because we want to respect where you're at, and we just hope that you are also respecting where we're currently at in the development of the game. So thank you. Excellent. EVERSPACE 2 is not a roguelike, it is an open world RPG this time around. Woo! What a difference. Crazy. Eric Cockpit Bobblehead. I'm just going to nip that in the bud right now. Sniper, no. And if any of my coworkers are looking at that and going, oh yeah, it's a great idea. If I have to play test it, I'll just say that it's not working as intended and it needs to be removed. That's how I'm going to organize it in my repro steps. So there, nipped it in the bud, gone, not happening. Perfect. Where are the wipers? For when you run into those dirty anemones. Space wipers. You know? It's an interesting concept. I always envision, like, spaceship cockpits to have something more than a wiper, right? It's more like they have some sort of, like, radioactive scanning probe thing that, like, goes across it, like, scans over the cockpit, and it just annihilates any sort of content that's on it, just like, and this just obliviates any content that's in the way of the viewing reticle, right? That's what I would do. Fuzzy Dice, a bobblehead band. Yep. Yeah, we heard all the requests. Well, not all of them. There's some interesting ones. But yeah, don't worry. Your voice is definitely heard. And there's a lot more customization to talk about in the future. There is. It's in the future. You have to wait. Gosh. But let me tell you, I'm already getting excited about it because I've seen some things, guys. I've seen some things, but I also want to keep my job, so I can't tell you what they are. Okay, so I missed some really good questions from Twitch chat. Let me scroll up a little bit. I want to make sure that you're getting answered. I almost read Zenday's question, and then I completely sidelined. So let's give him some respect. Thank you for your question. The question is, I know I'm being a pain for asking this so many times, but I really want to know the answer. Is it possible to do a fully shield-based build? Shield booster modules, convert whole shield modules. Promise I won't ask anymore. Zenday, you will be very pleased to note that if you want to put everything into your shields, all the value possible there, you absolutely can. Absolutely. Yeah, and there are also devices that will be appropriate for boosting up your shields. In addition to that, you'll also want to take great note in your ship itself, because certain ships will have unique specials and passives that could also apply bonuses specifically to your shields. In addition to that, there are unique ships that are going to add unique bonuses to your ship. So you can see it right here. It says 15%. What that means is the level of shieldage that you have on the ship right now is being further increased by 15% more, okay? Just as this specific ship's bonus, okay? These can vary wildly depending on what type of ship you've got, whether it's a light or a heavy or a medium ship class, what type of subclass it is, what type of equipment you have, what type of modifiers are on that equipment, what type of perks you've selected, what type of devices that you've coupled together, the modes of those devices. Yes, yes, yes. If you want that, there is going to be a direction to put all of your emphasis into your shield. Absolutely. Great question. We need an option to target drones only, or have them as a different color on the HUD. Hitting them first is priority. Itchy Twitchy Boom Bang, I like that feedback a lot. I actually agree with you. We have made it to where drones and ships have a distinguishing graphic apart from one another, so you know which one's a drone, which one's a ship. We don't clarify what type of drone it is. There's a lot of different types of drones. There's a lot of different types of ships this time around. So it could be very, very, very challenging distinguishing every single ship type. But what we might do is clarify the range of the ship types, if that makes sense. So if it's like a light fighter enemy, if it's a medium fighter enemy, if it's a cruiser, if it's a carrier, if it's a, et cetera, et cetera. We might be able to do something like that. But overall, I also agree. Like, I go for the drones first. You even saw that in my combat. I was going after those indicators for drones and I was pounding them out first. I feel like we're in a pretty good spot with it, but if you think that needs to be further enhanced, I'm curious on what your ideas look like for that. And a great spot to go is the EVERSPACE 2 Steam forums. Oh my goodness. Perfect. You can head on over there. You can compose little thoughts and be like, yo, I hate drones with a furious rage and passion of 1,000 suns. And that's great. I'm glad that you do. So tell me what you would do to update our UI. Tell me what you would do to modify your features to do exactly what you're requesting, because I want to know. I want you to tell me, and maybe we can find a middle ground. Beautiful. Let's answer some more questions. Scrolling through the chat. So many great questions today. You guys are awesome. Hoo-hoo, Eric. At what point in development will Kickstarter backers be able to name the NPC? That will be in the open early access Moon Boon's world. If you are one of those Kickstarter backers, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support and your dedication to our product. I hope that you will be able to help us create something really fun and interesting to add to the game. And yeah, so just to carry that over to everybody who's a backer, all of the creative rewards, they have not been implemented yet. We're just trying to get the game freaking working for you guys. Those creative tiers will be implemented through early access. So if you feel like, oh, I missed an email, I have this thing, but it hasn't been implemented. No, you haven't missed anything. Again, early access is going to be the point where we start developing all of those tools and features and all of it. All of it. We will let you know. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything yet. Space slugs, nasty stuff. Yes, that does sound pretty nasty. Are you going to voice a character in the game? That would be awesome. What is your guys' fascination with me? I am merely the vessel that is presenting this content to you, and I am serving you. Okay, leave me out of it. Okay, seriously. I appreciate the love, truly, but man, I want to be your servant here. I don't need to be captured in the game in any degree or capacity. I think that the team's doing a great job with building out the lore, building out the characters. I think you're gonna really like what you see there, okay? We've already talked a lot about including the text-to-speech inside of the game. We'll see what we can do with that, because a lot of you guys loved it. So, you know, just know that we are listening to you and we are implementing a lot of fun things, but please not me. I have a wife and children. Oh my goodness. Ray tracing support. Yes, but no. But yes, but no. There are a lot of modern technologies that we are exploring, and ray tracing is one of them, yes. But we are not going like full crazy support for ray tracing. There are going to be certain situations where we can utilize the technology. I believe one of those is the particle effects, the clouds? If I'm remembering my discussion correctly, I believe there are certain elements that are heightened by the ray tracing, but we aren't going to like do the full range thing for many different developmental reasons. But yeah. I hope backers come up with creative and wacky stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I think that the game could benefit from just a little bit of crazy. I think right now that we've created a very convincing and serious game world for you to participate in. And I think that any serious game world can use a little bit of crazy, because that adds so much more dynamics to the structure overall. So I do agree. I do hope that you guys get really creative and maybe not too wacky. Like one of the suggestions that I've talked about was like replacing the not the thermogun, the flak is like updating its graphic with watermelons. So every time you shoot a flak, it shoots a watermelon, and when it explodes, it looks like a watermelon explodes. Do I think it's fun? Yes. Do I think it's zany? Absolutely. Do I think it's appropriate for EVERSPACE 2? I don't know. I don't know. Would that break the immersion factor for some people? I think it might. Is that okay? Maybe. There's a lot of questions here. There's a lot of details here that we'd have to thoughtfully consider. So that's why I say I do hope that the creativity coming from you guys through development does keep in mind a serious tonal quality that is playful and appropriate, right? I want you guys to come up with things that are a little bit out of the norm. I would hope that you would. And we've already seen a little bit of that, so yeah, we'll go from there. Beautiful. Oh. Too much realism in games makes bad. I'm not gonna disagree. It also depends on the game, of course. And I do think that words are hard. I think that at Rockfish Games, we have the flexibility to create more of that enjoyment factor because of the genre we're fitting into, specifically the first part of our multi-part genre listing, which is arcadey space shooter. So from that, I think there's a level of variety that can be applicable to the game. April Fool's patch. Don't give Andy ideas. A lot of people saying the watermelon sounds interesting. Oh my goodness, guys. What have I done? I'm sorry, Hans Christian. Let's see, more questions. I'm loving how we're having a playful chat here, guys. It's delightful. And I also want to make sure that you guys know, I am here like the whole presentation. It's also to answer your questions very seriously as well. I'm not just trying to, you know, I'm not here just for the entertainment value. Like, use me as your source, your guide. Everything Rockfish Games and EVERSPACE too. There's so much more stuff floating out here, and I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm just going to ignore it. We'll come back for it later, I guess. Oh my gosh, Sunday. Nice. Use it. The banana decal. Oh my gosh. I secretly hope. So there was a time. I was streaming EVERSPACE 1, and I got a little fun with props. If any of you remember that. And I correlated the Okar fleet with bananas. And I am secretly hoping that there is a banana reference somewhere with the Okar when we get there eventually. It's my hope, it's my dream. Just like out of the norm, just a giant banana. Oh my gosh. Okanas, bananar, you know, however you want to describe them. Does uncollected loot eventually despawn? Jay Gnarl, I think in the current programming it doesn't. I don't think it currently despawns. I don't think that's really a topic too much that we've had internally because, well, for a number of reasons, really, because there hasn't been too much of an emphasis on having tons and tons and tons of loot spawn in an area. What you saw, what I did there is I was using some dev commands in order to create a pleasable combat situation for you to see how you can navigate it yourself whenever the game does arrive. But there are going to be multiple situations in which case you will find yourself surrounded by enemies and get a lot of loot drop, but overall, we want you to be able to collect the stuff that you find. I don't think it would be very fun if you have to leave and come back, collect more, leave, come back, collect more. But we also do want to make sure that you are definitive in your selections, which is why we have a listed cargo of a specific amount. So, whew, that was a lot of words. Basically what I'm saying is we want to make sure that you're finding loot that feels good, and if you don't find the loot that feels good, we want you to be able to scrap it pretty quickly. Whew. This actually gives me an idea. I'm going to send a little message to a team member because I think this would be really nice. So your guys' conversation has created an idea in my brains. And I'll tell you if it gets implemented or not. It'll be fun. All right. What's your idea? It's secret. It's secret. All right, so where am I? What am I doing? We are at a site known as Nefty's Plains. This is a planet-side location because you obviously couldn't tell and you needed me to explain that. One of many. Each one of our locations is handcrafted. So the exploration is powerful and meaningful. If it was procedurally generated, this base might look a little bit more funky. There might just be random stuff that you have to randomly find by randomly flying about. We didn't feel that was a very strong approach to the exploration factor in EVERSPACE 2. That's not a pot shot at any other games with procedural generation and massive environments, by the way. We love a wide range of games, and they each serve a certain purpose and feature to that. We chose not to go that route. I want to be very clear there. I'm not taking pot shots. And so by using this handcrafted approach, it does mean that there is a specific area that you can explore, a specific area that is defined for you to navigate, but it also means everything in that space we can ensure has value. That is why we're taking that direction. And that is being used through all of these locations that you're traveling to. All of these locations are handcrafted. All of these locations are handcrafted. Okay? We are not relying on procedural generation. There's a freaking ton here. Like, this is the one that's been fleshed out the most. I think there's like 28 points in Cedo. There's 8 solar systems that you'll be traveling through. Maybe more. And yeah, it's an absurd number of handcrafted locations, but we're dedicated to the cause. Okay? Hazy Devil, thank you for helping out in the chat, by the way. Hazy Devil is an all-star community person. He catches all the great EVERSPACE news. He's also a moderator on our Discord, so thank you for answering questions. I do appreciate that in the chat. Invaders level? I'm trying to understand that question. All right, let's go drop off here. Actually, go look at the station here. And I just wanted to show you a little bit more, just a little bit what you can experience from various traders and whatnot. Here we have the job board. And these types of jobs are going to give you unique missions to tackle that will service to yield certain rewards. So over here, let's talk about what's right above my head here. This is your reputation tracker. Right now, we are a friend with GMB Defense. GMB Defense is one of 3 different GMB factions, if you will. They are sub-factions of the GMB faction that you will encounter throughout your travels. The more that you do to service them, the more they will do to service you. Quite simple. If you don't service them and instead you attack them, if you betray them, your reputation is obviously going to diminish. But as you take jobs, you'll earn experience, you'll earn credits. There might even be some that give you an additional reward. Hoping to find one. Anyone will do. Any of them give an additional reward? None of them. Great. Flawless example. Don't worry about that. Basically, as your reputation does increase, though, you'll also notice you'll get certain abilities or items along the way. So with GMB Defense, we are a friend. If we move all the way up to this feature right here, right below the standing, we would become a partner. And as we become a partner, they would give us these 3 items in particular. And these items would be in accordance to our level. Items are not going to be the only thing. This is a placeholder as of right now. So you can also be sure to appeal to various factions for other benefits, like maybe passive boosts or protection when you're in their areas and stuff like that. But we'll talk more about reputation as more of it gets developed, because as you can see, it's pretty rudimentary right now in how it gives you a pretty straight track of your standings with them, tiers. We do want to keep it simple, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, there is still going to be a little bit more developed here. And there's also going to be more than 3 factions, let's be honest. All right. So that's kind of the job board and the reputation. And then let's finally look at the ship dealer. The ship dealer has various options of ships that you will be able to cycle around, see how they stack up to your ship that you're currently using. This ship is just straight up better than our ship. Adds even more shield, adds more armor, adds more hull. The special, each kill reduces the cooldowns of all devices by 2. And its passive is 20% reduced cooldowns for warfare devices. So warfare devices would get a boost from that. That's pretty nice. Everything else looks pretty strange. Our ship speed and handling also go up. I'm pretty convinced to buy this guy. It's very similar to what we have currently, but it's just better. Let's look at what else we got. We have another Sentinel that's also better. Also has a similar look. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Guys, this doesn't happen often, but when it does, I get the giggles. There's a lot of different ways that a ship can be constructed to give variety. And here we got two that are pretty similar. Here's a striker, a different style of ship entirely, a different subclass. It provides an entirely different ult, as well as unique specials and passives for it, and some modifiers. So this one's beefier regarding its armor and hull, but its shields are a little bit less. It has 3 slots for weapons as opposed to 2 though, but it has 1 less consumable slot as opposed to 4. Its handling is a lot better though. And then we have this other Sentinel. All right. Not a big fan of the rear. I don't like the engines. I think we'll take this first one. So let's go ahead and purchase our options. So here you can see that we have different ways that we can interact with ships when we buy them. One is to buy and transfer the current to the home base. One is to buy and transfer the new to the home base. And then this one is to buy and simply sell the current one. This one basically means the old one is gone forever. This one means you store your previous ships at your home base. So if you really like the way a ship looks, you will be able to modify that, you will be able to store that ship permanently to your collection of ships in your own personal hangar. So I hope that you'll enjoy that when that shows up. Otherwise, we're just gonna buy and sell the current. Bada bing, bada boom. Maven is thinking. Kudos to anyone who got that reference. For anyone who's wondering, is like, oh my gosh, those load times are horrendous. Is that going to be in the full game? Like, we're going to have to wait 17 years to transition? Guys, it's not optimized yet. Cool your jet. It's cool, all right? Trust me when I say it's going to be much cleaner. And it will also depend on the type of hardware that you're using in your computer, or the console that you're using. But yes, it's not optimized yet. It's okay. Did I miss a statement? Can we get access to the beta in September? You will be getting access to the beta in September. You will, in fact, be getting access to the beta in September. Oh, let me clarify that. If you are a backer at the beta or higher tier, you will have access to the... Let me just... Hang on. Let's take a step back. Whoop! Okay. The beta is very similar to the alpha in that they are both closed. The data that we are collecting and the content that we're pushing is different, but there's always a feedback process with a feedback loop that provides the creation of new assets, content, etc., right? Both the alpha and beta are closed. So you cannot enter into the beta if you don't have any form of way to get into the beta currently. Except for a giveaway that is possible that ends at the end of this month. Michael actually dropped that link. It's on the PC Gamer forums. Michael, I'm also gonna post that over on YouTube real quick. Stream, just letting you know where to go. Boom. There we go. I posted the link as well for you guys over on YouTube. So you have the link where you can go to PC Gamer to put yourselves into a potential giveaway. No, not a potential giveaway. It is in fact a true giveaway for a potential copy of the EVERSPACE beta. There we go. Words done. Good. Fantastic. Amazing. We also have about 20 minutes left in the stream, and there is a little bit of community content that I wanted to share with you guys. I just want to give big kudos to all of you who take the time out of your day to take some screenshots, write something up, do some editing. I think it's really fun. It's really playful that you guys think about us. and show your passion for our project, because obviously we're passionate about what we do. If we weren't, we wouldn't be making it. And seeing that you guys are in this with us, it's just a lot of fun to see what you guys are up to. So we're gonna go ahead and actually, yeah, we're gonna head and we're gonna hang out of Nefty's Plain Stations. I'm gonna transition over to our waiting screen for Discord. You can go straight there, discord.gg/rockfishgames. Hang out with us. It's always a fun time. It really is. Like, I'm not joking. We have an absolute blast. And let's see. We need to. Oh, I wanted to show you this. This is kind of nice. We talked about ship colors before. I think this is really important to check out. This was shown quite some time ago, and by this was shown, I know you can't see anything. Hang on one second. I'm gotta load things into place. Boom. All right, here we are. So this is the current ship color examples that we're issuing for the contents of the game. And again, these are all specific built out colorations that you would choose from. Now, it's going to be really hard to see the light colors in this, but just wanted to show you, like, we have a lot planned here. We have a lot in the works, far more than what you saw me cycling through just casually. And again, this ship right here that's behind me, this one right here, like where my hands are at, this one says RGB. That means that is a placement for the red, the green, and the blue for primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. So there currently is a plan. It's not implemented yet, but there currently is a plan for you to select the specific 3 colors of your ship. So if this isn't enough for you for some sort of consistent theming across the board, we're hoping to also have the ability to choose those specific colors as well. Okay. Yeah, and there's a lot. I know some of you are already like typing numbers. Well, maybe you're not. Oh, nobody's typed numbers? Almost everyone types a number like, that's my ship. There's a lot of colors. And there are also different textural qualities too. So like if you look at this ship, this number 6 in comparison to number 7 is metallic versus number 6 is matte. Okay, so you can see much more gloss coming off of this one than that one. So they do have different textural components. I love this gold one, number 15. That one's one of my favorites. But there's a lot here. So just kind of like casually browse through this so you guys can see. And then we'll jump into community content because it's always fun. It's always great. I like this neon one. That one's fun too. There's a lot of options you can see. 5, always 5. Everyone says 5, the blue. Yeah, the blue one's nice. Pretty classic. Like 19. Yeah, that one, the metallic black. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it, Laserhead. I like 33. Ooh, yeah, almost like a poisonous neon sort of experience. I like that. Don't tread on me style a ship. Number 50 is for me. Oh yeah, no, I like that. That's a really solid coloration, yeah. 15 is mine. Oh man, you're gonna fight me for it. Let's go, boy. You saw my combat in action. Are you up for the challenge? Woo! 4, 8, 15, 16, 23. Okay, goodness gravy. Everybody's going ham, and I love it. But obviously, we do have a lot of different colors that we want to push. Okay, so I wanted to jump over to the fan art. Here we are. So the first one, we're going to look at some Hazy Devil screenshots. We've got this bad boy here. This is from the original. No, this is from EVERSPACE 2. Wow. Goodness gravy. It's crazy how much this does look similar to EVERSPACE 1. It almost threw me for a loop there. The Sentinel, definitely alive and well. But Hazy Devil, great screenshot. Really love it. Taking out dem drones. Very good. It also needs to be a watermelon scheme. I have done this myself. Oh my gosh. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Somebody on my team is facepalming right now. Then we also have this in-cockpit view going through super light. Very, very much love this, Hazy. Also, if you're looking really closely down here, there's the under construction paper, the the wrap across the cockpit because it's not done yet in the alpha build. But nice shot. Definitely love it. Good work, Hazy. So let's see. We also have Jay Gnarl dropping some love from EVERSPACE 1. Here we are. So we've got this bad boy. This is also the Sentinel. Just a really clean shot here. Just very atmospheric. And it tells you everything you need to know. Great shot, Jay Gnarl. Very, very clean. Very, very good. Will EVERSPACE 2 be coming to the Switch? No, EVERSPACE 2 is not coming to the current Nintendo Switch. But we don't know what Nintendo's working up around the corner. So we'll keep you posted if Nintendo does create a far more comparable console that can take the power that is EVERSPACE 2. I hope the main character says goodness gravy at some point in the story. Dang it, Laserhead. I already saw a discussion that was happening that is exactly about that. Don't give ideas like that, okay? Goodness gravy. You guys are fun. I like you. One more shot from Jay Gnarl. We got this one as well. Looking at that Greg goo. It's not gray goo. It's green goo. Green goo. But I love the angle of this shot. The composition is very pleasant. If you look here, we have this nice angular approach here for solid bordering, keeping the eye trained in the middle with this large protrusion reaching out towards the goop on the left. It's perfect formula, right? So you have this contrast of this large asteroid that's hollowed out with this ship, this tiny little ship that you're just really curious about and you want to see more on it. And then this green goo that's just like, huh! We're scanning it. We're scanning that goo. Wonderful. Space whale egg for sure. Oh my gosh, Mephisto. I love it. But those are great shots, Jay Gnarl. Really, really good stuff. So we have a video from 8. Let me see if I can pull this up correctly. Hang on a second. Let me just get this centralized for the share. All right, here we go. Here you go. I love Light Fighters so much. Thanks for that. Your content is beautiful every time. Really appreciate it. Love the memes. Seriously, love the memes. Let's see what else we got. We also have some content from Jack Sharp Scribe. If you guys remember him, he was the one who wrote some content for us last week, which we thought was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty nice. So we're gonna read a little bit more. He likes to write, and he's kind of capitalizing on his adventures from EVERSPACE 1. This does get into spoiler territory, and he is taking some of the content in a little bit of a different direction than the actual EVERSPACE 1 narrative, but still, it's a very enjoying read, so I hope that you will take a moment to listen in on this chat with me. So here we go. Deep in the demilitarized zone was an abandoned moon, its white rocks stacking into mountains high. The endless stars were visible from the cloudless atmosphere, while the terrain was scattered with craters. It was the perfect place to hide a top-secret facility and the truth. Adam Roslin hovered over a gorge in his ship, a Colonial Interceptor, the only class of ship he had manned his whole life. He looked down into a gorge, through the glass of his cockpit that was marred with the scratches and smeared with black smoke. Burning and sizzling piles of scrap littered the floor beneath him, after many waves of merciless outlaws had been commanded to end his run. But he couldn't let that happen, and he didn't. He was too close to the end of his mission. Hive interrupted his reminiscing with his pre-programmed voice. It was smooth and caring, yet also dry and reserved. The only two emotions Adam ever heard his onboard computer convey was urgency and sarcasm.
Seth Nobu has reached the inner doors. However, the defense AI has kept him from getting any further.
That's great, Adam replied somberly, giving his pedal a nudge to send a burst of fuel to the engines. He got closer to a specific starship wreck, placed right below the entrance to the hidden facility. I wonder how long she spent looking for me, he wondered aloud. It was the wreck of a ship belonging to a woman named Dinara Roslin, whom he had only met a few times. Several lives ago, he had obtained the moon base's coordinates from her, and once he reached these coordinates, he saw her attack Nobu. He only had a few moments with her, seconds, where he knew she was his sister. The few seconds before her engines were blasted to pieces and she crashed into the white walls of the mountains, just below the facility she had been searching for. Hive had warned him after he clutched the controls of his ship that his adrenaline was spiking. He didn't need the computer to tell him he was enraged, and he kicked the ship into overdrive. He had shot down every gun that Seth Nobu had hired to kill him, using all of his tools and surroundings to his benefit. Missiles, lasers, even the turrets of the facility were his to utilize, thanks to Hive's hacking capabilities. Anything to make Nobu, through the outlaws, pay. He should have been happy to rush in and confront Nobu, man to man. Adam knew he couldn't take on Nobu in a ship-to-ship fight, but in person, all bets were off. Both of them were researchers. Neither was an excellent shot. It's a little outside the canon, just a little. Don't worry too much. Nobu is actually like a straight-up soldier, and Adam's the dork. He's the scientist. But still, we're going to go with this. They're both researchers, okay? Even if Nobu was more fit than him, Adam's rage would level the playing field. But he wasn't happy, wasn't excited to finally take down the pest of his past. For a moment, he simply sat and observed the pile of bent steel, broken glass, and sizzling electronics crackling with excess power. Just a moment between adrenaline and rage, between a fight in the sky and a fight on the ground. A moment to remember the sister he didn't really know.
The facility's defenses have just kicked in,
Hive interrupted again, his voice rushed.
Nobu has been incapacitated.
So I won't get that fight after all, Adam thought, his internal voice hiding beyond the commentary of his digital ally. His final chance for revenge disappeared in an instant. He took a deep breath. As quickly as his time was with Dinara, so was his chance to make Seth pay for shooting her down. He knew in his heart it was time to move on, time to learn the truth, and end this fever dream of gaining what he didn't know he had, losing what he never had, and vengeance consuming his heart towards a man he didn't really know. Adam flew into the cloning facility, ready to meet himself, his maker. Again, that comes from Jack Sharp Scribe, loving what he's doing, writing his kind of musings on his EVERSPACE experience. If you guys have a little section of EVERSPACE that speaks out to you and you want to compose your thoughts and drop it into the fan art, know that we take all forms of mediums. You know, like if you are a writer, drop it in here. That's great. We'll read it aloud. We'll explore it together. It's a lot of fun. If you just love taking photos, keep up your work in the gallery because they are spot on gorgeous. Loving that content as well. If you work your hands in clay or Legos or any sort of 3D elements, maybe you're into 3D printing, I mean, go ham. Show us what you're doing. We love it. We absolutely want to show what you're doing inside of the community because it's, again, this is the community stream. This is where we're hanging out. This is where we're showing your stuff. It is such a pleasure to have you guys do this just because you love it. And it's a pleasure for us because obviously we love it too and want to highlight that work. And you never know, maybe something that you provide will inspire us to do a little bit more. Also, we did do some talking about some of the characters of EVERSPACE 2 in a post on the PC Gamer forums. One of these characters is known as Tareen. He is a recurring character from EVERSPACE 1. You will be using him as a companion in EVERSPACE 2, known as the Quartermaster. And he's going to recant his experiences of being a servant of the Okar, trying to become a cleric, and what that looked like and why he opted to instead leave the Okar establishments and go become a trader in the demilitarized zone, which is ultimately how you run across him in EVERSPACE 1. There are a lot more interesting stories that will have a lot of fun Fun times to have, both with characters that you know and characters that you've never seen before, and completely new directions that maybe you weren't expecting. So definitely hope that you're looking forward to how we share those stories as well. In addition, we also have this screenshot of the hero, otherwise known as Adam Roslin. Looks pretty clean cut, actually. I quite like his looks. I forget how old he is, but he aged really, really well. Maybe it's because it's a sci-fi universe and they've figured out all the secrets to saving your skin. I don't know, but I think Grindel cataloged the timeline for us on the wiki, and I think he's somewhere around the age of 50, if I'm not mistaken, like 40s, 50s. Looks great, doesn't he? Solid. But this is the main protagonist of EVERSPACE. This is what we label here as hero. Debatable that you could call him a hero or not based on his deeds, but needless to say, he is the star of the story. Who is that? A failed clone? I think this is the main clone you are playing as in EVERSPACE 2. Pretty confident in that. This is the clone you are playing as in EVERSPACE 2. Perfect. We also had some new concept art for the locations that we showed at PC Gamer. So let's get in on this action right here. Oh yeah. Oh, this is great. So this is actually a cut down version. Here, hang on. Let me get you the high res version. Hang on. Here we go. Yeah. So this is the high res version of the Outlaw base. Some of you may even see this as very recognizable here. This is in fact the first Outlaw base that you escape from at the start of the game. So you can tell the hangar bay, the double hangar bay, the sort of spherical structure, the protrusion from the top, as well as an assortment of other elements, as well as fighters ejecting from the hangar bay, as well as this destroyer. We don't see the destroyer, but this is all the markups for that ship in a standardized format. So yeah, we think that we did I think that we've done a pretty good job of capturing the look and feel of this concept art that we've had through JC, our concept artist, who's been creating just world after world after world of content for us. JC is one of our concept artists. I'm not actually sure if he created this one specifically. Michael may be able to confirm that with me. But seriously, his work's been outstanding. It's given us a lot of visual direction to program in these situations, and we're happy with how the world is developing overall. So yeah, just some added detail in the concept art that you can see. I think it's pretty great. And again, if you missed where this information was dropped, like these details and whatnot, I do really encourage you to head over to pcgamer.com. You can head over to the forums, and then from there, search for EVERSPACE 2, and you're going to find a swath of information regarding the story and how it's prepping up for not only the beta, but also for early access. It's a really strong read that our creative director, Uwe, actually provided us. So I seriously, really encourage you to head on over there, give that a read. It's really, really, really good stuff. It's a really good stuff. Awesome. All right, so we have about 3 minutes left for the stream, and I always go over, so it's more like 10, whatever. But let's answer a couple more questions, because I know that I've populated some thoughts in your mind palace. I know that there's been some new substance that's been concocted there. So let's discuss. What are your questions? What are your thoughts? How do you feel? What did you have for breakfast? But no, seriously, let's keep it to EVERSPACE 2. What are some questions that you have lingering that I maybe missed the stream? Anything like that? That was Tobias Frank. Okay, thanks, Michael. Yeah, JC is our in-house concept artist, but I guess he works more on ships, doesn't he? Ships and characters. Yeah. Tobias is awesome. You are correct. Tobias is remarkable. Love his work. Is there any way you can fly that gunship parked outside the hangar? This? Are you referring this as a gunship? Goodness grave, that's a destroyer. A gunship would be about like the size of these, like right here, these little scouts. Just put 2 of those together and that'd be like the size of a gunship. And like being able to fly this guy, whoo, that would create a very dynamic variation to our level design, and it would probably hinder you more than help you. I'm not sure we would want to do that. That would be a very interesting direction to go. Our focus truly is on the single one-man fighters. But, you know, a lot of people have been asking about it, and I've said this before. Maybe it's possible that we have like a side quest or a mini game where you control a larger ship for like an instance or two. But still, that's a stretch. That is not me giving vocal confirmation of that happening. Again, like I'm just giving you our thoughts, what we've digested. We hear you. But again, the focus is really on those one-man fighters. Can we store an unlimited amount of ships, or is there a limit? Popnaze. Welcome to the stream. I will say that in its current format, there is a limit. It could be unbound. It could be infinite, I suppose. That could also present some problems, some challenges. I think at the end of it, the idea is to have a concrete number of slots in the hangar bay, but we're still going to have a lot to where you can have a very diverse cast of ships. So, I mean, I think at the very least, I think everybody will agree with this. At the very least, we want to have a slot for each type of subclass ship in the game, right? I think that that's at least our base level limit to what the hangar bay is going to be. But there's still a lot of discussion around that. We want to make sure that you have a variable choice, especially in the end game. Like, we don't want to lock you away from that in the end game at all. Where you can pick and choose very freely, have that customization, equipment at hand, all that stuff. So yeah. So ballpark number, I'm gonna throw out there 9, but that really doesn't mean anything. I could say 12, I could say 20, but it's not locked in place yet, right? I could say 6. It really isn't locked in place yet. We are trying to figure out what's going to be a good amount for the player to have, but also to not get overwhelmed by and managing all of these different ships and equipment and everything at the same time. So we'll see. Say fitty. You heard it here first, folks. 50 ships in the hangar bay. That was unnecessary. Okay. Are there going to be collectible parts to visually alter your ships? That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? Stealth gameplay, what you added for new? Yeah, so we want to make sure that there's variety in the missions and the jobs that you take on. I think stealth is one that we have been talking about a bit. We want to reward players who go for styles and directions in their gameplay that utilize more utility and support as opposed to straight fierce combat. Much like we had a discussion earlier in the stream about having a shield-focused build, we want to provide those options. It is a combat-heavy game, right? That is the main focal point, but if you do find creative ways and solutions to work around that, we want to reward you for it. And stealth is one of those factors. As far as stealth-specific missions all the way through, it's possible. We'll have to see where we go. I do like the concept, especially. Will there be mining in EVERSPACE 2? Absolutely. We have both simplistic mining where you shoot, you loot. Very simple. And we also are working on a minigame solution for when you mine, you have to do a little bit of tricks, but the better you do during the minigame, the more resources that you will acquire. It may or may not be a requirement to have mining equipment as well. We're trying to flesh that out because we don't want to make it to where it's like too space simmy, right? At the end of the day, this is a fast-paced arcadey shooter. We want to provide that focus, that direction, and we'll see what we can do to change up that formula without steering too far away to where you have to memorize 50,000 different things. Can we drink the alcohol trading item to have our vision be fuzzy and try to fight the Drunken Master style? I'm not sure the Drunken Master style is going to be very effective in a spacefaring game, but at most, you're going to crack your own cockpit. At least you'll pass out and not suffer the pain of death. So Not recommended. Don't think we're going to be able to drink alcohol in EVERSPACE 2. But if there was some type of no, I'm just nipping that. No, I don't think that's going to be possible. I don't think that's going to be possible. But I've been wrong before. I saw the Sentinel. Will the gunship be back? Yes. Clones always have that nice, clean-shaven look, regardless of age. It's true, because, it's, man, cloning technology, it's crazy. You keep hearing the thoughts, and you spelled thoughts THOTS. Your mind space is a bit different than ours. But I appreciate your observation. Hey, sorry I'm really late. Yeah, the stream's just about to wrap up, Dennis. I'm sorry. I am sorry, because I'm going to have to run here in just a moment. Oh, my goodness. Will it run on next-gen consoles? We'll let you know whenever we figured out the conversation. But basically, we need to get things in order, and once we have an announcement to make or have a direction to take regarding next gen, we will let you know. We will push that information to you. But we can't. Oh, Michael actually responded to it. Basically, we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot by saying anything that would be telling or anything like that. So just wait for announcements. DUI in space is never pretty. Exactly. Thank you, Jay Gnarl. Also, thanks for your screenshots. All right, will you be able to colorize your engine trail, Mephisto Lord? That would be pretty dope, wouldn't it? Animated ship skins? Hazy Devil. Oh my gosh, are you thinking about Rocket League style stuff? Because that is insanely cool. I actually haven't even thought of that. Why haven't I thought of that, Hazy Devil? That would be so cool. That might be a bridge a little too far out there, but still, I like it. I like the thought. I like the thought. All right. Yep, I'm definitely over my time. I got to wrap up the stream, guys. So I also want to encourage all of you that if I didn't get to your question, it's not because I don't love you. I actually do. I really care about you guys showing up to the streams, having these conversations. Your questions are awesome, and I really do appreciate that. Seriously, you guys are amazing. So if you want to continue that conversation and continue asking your questions, especially if they didn't get answered, I encourage you to fly over to the Discord at discord.gg/rockfishgames. We have an AMA channel straight up where you can just drop it in, and mostly our team, the Rockfish team, will answer your questions. We do have some outstanding members of the community who will also give you the deets because they are smart and they know things. So definitely be looking out for any responses there. We want to make sure that you know what we know that you can know. Truly, we want to make sure that this process is as transparent and easy to understand as possible. We do not want to be making a game where you don't know what it's doing. So if you want to stay informed, again, join that Discord, discord.gg/rockfishgames. It's a great little community. We have a lot of fun. Share your fan art there. Lots of fun content. And it'll be a good time. I'll be way more active next week because I'm not on vacation anymore. So, whee! Fun times. All right. Guys, it seriously has been my pleasure. You have been awesome. And I have been Eric Schrader, your community ambassador, your servant, your guide for everything Rockfish Games and EverSpace 2 related. Don't stop being awesome. And I will catch you in the next stream next Friday, same time, same place. Toodles!
I am really, really, really hoping that somebody does some form of 3D art in the fan art section. That would be so stinking cool. Because if you don't, I'm gonna have to.